Straight Talk with your host, Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, alright here. Oh, Simply Straight Talk.
Today's show is about people who are standing strong when they say, "My ex is staying, take it or leave it." Yes, there are people who refuse to leave their ex out of their life, and this is not about the kids. Join the discussion right here on Simply Straight Talk. Reggie, what are your thoughts on this subject?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Simply Straight Talk Show. This is your host, Reggie, and today we are going to be talking about what did you do if your mate says, "My ex is staying as a part of my life, you can take it or you can leave it." That is a tough option, especially if it's somebody that you really care about, somebody that you like, you're in love with, you feel like you got this special relationship, you feel like this is the one. But when they give you that ultimatum, man, what do you do? How do you handle that? Because that's a tough pill to swallow. And for them to say that, now come on, you know it's got to be some type of attachment there. So you know what? Let's dive into this a little bit. Because when you talk about a person's ex, it is common for people to maintain contact with their former romantic partners. It is, whether they was dating, engaged, or actually got married. In some cases, people do. They break up, but they're still friends. So they still got some little cordial activity. They're, very respectful to each other. So, but what happens when you enter into a new relationship? What happens? Do you tell the person about the person? Do you keep it a secret? Or do you say, look, I know this guy, we dated for a while, we broke up. He comes to the house and fix things on occasion, or he comes to the house and helps me out. He works on cars, so I take my car to him. He helps me out, gives me a good deal. Now, let me tell you something. A real man would say, I got you. I got your car. Okay, I'll take care of your car. But what happens when the woman you're with says, no, I want him working on my car? You know what I'm saying? Or guys, what if you you go somewhere and, this lady, she's really good at doing data processing and she's helping you out with your business by giving you deals and, helping you with some of your stuff. And you tell your wife, like, listen, we dated, but we got a good working relationship. So she just sometimes helps me out, which I really need. And she's like, well, no, I'll help you enter stuff in the computer. We'll work it out. You don't need to be going to her, especially she giving you deals and favors. What do you do? What do you say to that? Because you're in a new relationship now, and understand, you and this person got a history. Do you give her that ultimatum? Look, she's my ex, but she's staying in the picture and you can take it or leave it. Or do you try to work it out? Like I said, it happens. What happens when you enter into a new relationship? How do you deal with the fact that you are still close to your ex, but get your mate to understand that, okay, it's just friendship or we're just cool? Because that's a tough pill to swallow, especially when you know somebody has had feelings and they've been intimate. It's not always easy to make that transition in the mindset to say, oh, okay, well, he's just a mechanic now, so it's all good. Or, well, she just helps him out with his business, doing him a favor. It's all good. It's tough. It's tough. So that gives the person that you're with to have to decide, well, do I maintain contact with my ex or do I cut them out because I'm trying to move forward with this new person? How do you balance that? How do you balance that? Do I just totally let them go? Don't have nothing to do with them? Or, hey, look, it's my ex. You're in my life. I can't cut you out. What do you do? See, these are questions that people have to come up with. Can having your ex in your life be bad for your new relationship if your ex is still in your life? But a lot of that is going to depend on in what manner your ex is in your life. See, these questions you have to bring up, especially if you are recently broken up and you still have a relationship with the person that you used to date. Now, I know sometimes people break up and it's like, hey, hi, they may talk once every 3 months or whatever, or, it just might be a situation to where, they are talking every day. They feel like, oh, well, we're better friends than we were as a couple. So we enjoy each other's company. We enjoy talking to each other. But what happens when you bring another man or another woman into the situation where they feeling like, well, I'm supposed to be your number one now. That's your past. Why are you sitting here on the couch and y'all sitting over there hee-hee-hawing and laughing and giggling and cackling? You know what I'm saying? Like y'all just came from the club or something. So when you are in a relationship, but you still are tied to your ex in some form, tell me some straight talk, family. Do y'all feel that your ex should still be a part of your current life? Do you feel like your ex should be calling you? Y'all should be talking. If your ex is working on your car, or do you still call your ex for advice? I mean, what is it? How do you feel that should play out? Do you feel that should even play out? Or should it just not be a factor? Once you get into a new relationship, should all of that just stop? Now, for some people, they saying, well, you answer the question right there. When you get into a new relationship, it should just stop. But what happens when it doesn't stop? What happens when it just keeps going? And the person you with just kind of look at you like, what, you got a problem? You better eat it and swallow it. Because some people have been known to do that. Now, y'all know we keep it real. And I'm going to tell you something, because I always share a little bit about me, because I don't feel it's fair for me to bring up topics that I personally have not went through. I have dated women. I was actually married to somebody who kept her ex in the picture. And she had kids. She had 3 kids by her ex. But it was like every time I turn around, the ex. And I understand. Now, if you got kids and that person wants to be a part of the kid's life, hey, I am all for that. I do not believe that a person coming in should ever interfere with a parent who wants to remain a part of their child's life, even though they are no longer with the man or woman they had the child with or children with. So I really believe that you don't try to cause a problem there, because it's like you're not trying to replace that parent. You're just trying to be an addition to help guide and to be there as a support factor, not always financially, because that's not what it's always about when raising children. But sometimes you're just there too as a guide, as to help them keep straight, help them to get the better part of life, help them to grow and mature. So the thing about it is, it's tough, especially when there's kids involved, because some men and even some women, when they get out of a relationship, and even though the other parent has the kids, they sort of feel like, well, that household is still mine. And the person that they had, and the person you're with is kind of like giving them that authority, kind of giving them that leeway to where they feel like they still have some input in what goes on in the house. When in reality, they should only have input in what goes on with the kids, not the house, not your dating, none of that stuff. Now, when we talk about my ex is staying, take it or leave it, for some reason, people really hold on to these beliefs. They hold on to the fact that my ex is here. And even if I get into a new relationship, my ex is going to be a part of the relationship. And I just want to list a few reasons that a person may say, you know what, this is the reason why my ex is going to stay as a part of my life. Now, tell me if y'all agree. Now, this is just some things I thought about, because I thought about this and I was like, what is it that will make a person feel like my ex has to be a part of my life? Regardless of if somebody new comes into my life, my ex is staying. They will leave before my ex leave. Now, these are the reasons that I came up with. So tell me if y'all think these are valid reasons. Do you think they make sense? Or do you think that maybe the person that has this mindset is taking a big chance on losing somebody good? The first one I put was an obvious: kids. Because whenever 2 people have kids, you're always going to have the factor of both people being in a relationship. So some people will say, yes, that she's the mother of our kids. He's the father of our kids. So they're always going to be a part of the kid's life. But I think the key word there is they should be a part of the kid's life. That's the key thing there. So some people feel like that, which I totally get that. That one I cannot debate, cannot argue with. They really feel like they have to keep a relationship with the other parent because they are the natural parents or the adopted parents, but they are part of the kid's life. They are the parents to the kids. Another reason is no closure from the breakup, because there are times when people will break up and either the man or woman will just say, you know what, I'm done, I'm out, I can't do this anymore. And they don't want to talk about it. They just want out of the relationship. Or the person is like, I don't understand, why are you leaving? You know, some people just can't accept a person's reason for breaking up. They feel like the other person hasn't tried to communicate, they don't understand. But for some reason, mentally, they just can't comprehend the fact that the person doesn't want to be with them. They can't comprehend that the relationship is not working. So they don't have the closure to them that says the relationship is over. So for them to keep that person close by or to keep that person in their life is kind of them working towards getting an answer to why the relationship didn't work and getting closure, or maybe getting that person back. So they keep that person close by. They entertain conversations or they initiate conversations. So no closure from the breakup. Another reason I listed was they feel they have a long history together. And this could be because maybe the person was sick when they met or sick during a time when they was get together and that person took care of them, or they went through hard times at some point and that person was there when they went through it, or at the end of it, the relationship didn't work. Anytime people go through a hard time and somebody's there with you or somebody's really sick and that person stands by you, yeah, there is a little bit of a connection, a bond there. And, you know, it's just something that people can't understand. And I think there was a movie with Idris Elba, and I want to say that, correct me if I'm wrong in this, but I think the name of the movie was Somewhere in the Mountains, something like that. It was a good movie. But that was the thing about those two. You know, he was stuck in a mountain with her, and by the time they got rescued, they just had this bond because they had to survive some stuff together. So some people like that, when they got this history together, they build a connection and they're sort of appreciative, but they don't move on beyond the fact of, hey, look, I appreciate you was there then, but this is now. So yeah, so that's another one. They could still have emotions for the person. They still got feelings. They haven't sorted that out. Another reason is guilty feelings for the relationship ending. They could feel like I'm the reason the relationship ended. I wish I would have did better. So they want to keep in contact with the person. You know, they want to try to maybe hopefully win the person back or hopefully hear the person say, I forgive you, or just feel like being friends and staying in contact and keeping that old conversation going is going to make them feel better. Another thing is, you know, that's keeping them as a backup. You know, they feel like this person, you know, can be there just in case what I'm going through, who I'm with now doesn't work out. You know, if I need some financial help, they'll be there. If I fall, they're going to catch me. So I just need to be kind, be sweet. I'm not going to totally let them go. So I got to stay in the know with them. Or it could be a situation to where, you know what? I might need them sexually. So sexually, I might need that bit of a, you know, to kind of keep me going, because I may not be satisfied here. I can get my little satisfied there till I can get everything up and going. So you never know the mindset. Those are some different reasons that people might decide that their ex needs to stay in a relationship. Now, I honestly feel like only the first one, which was the kids from the, you know, the parent of the actual children being, you know, a person keeping in contact with the parent who's the actual natural parent of the kids. I can see that communication. I can see that person being in their life. But the rest of them, those are suspect reasons, man. I can't really see all that going on. But you know what? We are not done yet, because when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about how all this plays into a new relationship when a person is determined and has made the decision that my ex is staying. You will take it or leave it. I am not going to cut them off. I will cut you off before them. What would you do? Hey, stay tuned right here on the Simply Straight Talk Show. We'll be right back with more conversation.
This is Simply Straight Talk with your host, Reggie, bringing the conversation straight to you.
Hey, are you looking for some great music, upbeat and with a positive voice? Well, the song I Stand With You is exactly what you need. This timeless song has a pop version sung by Audrey Carmel. And a reggae version sung by General Steele, now known as Revelation.
Now I know some days you may feel blue, Lord. Trust in your greatness to see you through.
These songs are now available on iTunes and other digital platforms for download. Don't miss out. Get your copy today.
Give life your best and I know.
We're back with the conversation starter and the voice that works harder. Your host, Reggie.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Simply Straight Talk Show. Today we are talking about what if your mate tells you my ex is staying. You can either take it or leave it. What would you do? How do you feel about that? We are talking about that today. And we briefly discussed some of the reasons a person may feel this way. We talked about the fact that they have kids. We talked about the fact that they never got closure from the breakup. We talked about how they might just still have emotions, or it may just be a thing of convenience in case the relationship they're in now doesn't work out. So their ex is a backup, or financial stability. Hey, you never know. Or it could be a sexual thing. So what is it? What is it that makes a person keeps their ex in their life despite the fact that they're in a new relationship, despite the fact that they have met somebody new and they're supposed to be moving on? But are you really moving on if your ex is still a vital part of your relationship? Have you truly made the decision that you want to look for something better? You want a new change in your life, a new direction? Or are you still trying to recapture those glory days that ended up turning into heartbreak days? Do you really want to put yourself through that again? But you know what? We're going to switch it up a little bit, because now we're going to get into the discussion and we're going to talk about how does this affect your new relationship? How does you having your ex as a big part of your life affect the relationship that you're in now? Does your mate like it? Is your mate comfortable with it? Let me tell you this. I knew a person, of course, I don't never call no names, but she had this thing to where she really believed that her ex and her ex should be friends. Now, some people believe that. Some people are totally comfortable with that idea, that exes have to be friends. If there's a get together, the ex got to be there. The new guy now got to be there. If there's a family get together, the ex got to be there. She got to be there. If she's celebrating the birthday, the ex got to be there. The new guy got to be there. They had to be buddies. They got to sit down and watch games together. They had to go to the beauty salon together. Some people have that mentality that whoever they were in a relationship with, they say that we're friends, and anybody I'm going forward with got to accept the fact that they are my friends and you have to be friends with them. Is that fair? Do you think that is a rational mindset to have in a new relationship? And is the person that you're in a relationship with obligated to agree to that just to be with you? It would make me question, do I really want to be with you? Because it sounded to me like you were somebody else. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, when we talk about how this affects the person that you're in a relationship with, because if you're still engaging in laughter and conversation and the ex is still a big part of your life, well, there are certain things that you got to consider involving the person that you're in a relationship with now. Okay. And first thing is, are they comfortable with it? Are you making them comfortable with the situation? Or are you making them uncomfortable with the situation that you have with your ex? Let's put it like this. Does your behavior indicate something more to your mate when you're talking to your ex, whether it be on the phone, whether it be in person, y'all meeting up? If they're coming to get the kids, do you get all dressed and dolled up? But when you're around your current person, you're looking like a bum. If you're a man, you're looking like a bum. If you're a woman, you're kind of like, he know me. But when your ex comes around, are you sprucing yourself up? What are you doing? Does your voice change on the phone? Are you a different person? Are you more funny, and are you laughing more? Are you just more seem like excited when you're talking to them than when you're talking to your mate? Are you telling your ex more about your day and what's going on in your life than you're telling your mate? Because it'd be crazy to sit there and listen to your person that you're with. You know what I'm saying? You thinking y'all a couple, and you hearing her or him telling their ex some things about the day, and you kind of like, what? I wanted to know that. But they seem like they're getting firsthand information, and you getting what's on the back end if you get anything. So are you doing something to indicate that your relationship with your ex is a little suspicious? So you got to be mindful of that. Does your ex have influence on your current relationship and your household activities? Do you consult your ex before you consult your mate? First of all, why are you consulting your ex on stuff that deal with your current relationship? Whether you're a man or woman, when you give somebody else that power in your life that you are consulting an ex, your ex is going to realize that, they're coming to me and not them. So if your ex want to cause beef, it's easy for them to create a problem between you and your current person because you are feeding them everything they need to know by approaching them with situations or questions that really should be addressed within your household. And I know somebody right now is already out there saying, well, what if this person is a specialist in this area? Is it wrong for me to go to my ex? Well, is it wrong? If you can get maybe some good information, I mean, it's kind of hard to say if it's wrong, but would you give your mate the courtesy of saying, listen, are you okay if I call him? I'll put it on speaker so you can hear and we can ask the question. But then again, is he the only person in the world that got this information? Come on now, let's be real about it. Remember, you got to think beyond yourself right now. Have you set boundaries for your ex, especially if you got kids? Can your ex just pop up whenever he wants to the house? Does your ex have a key? If you got a garage, does he have the alarm code in the house? He doesn't live with you anymore. She doesn't live with you anymore. Do they still have access to the car? Bank accounts? I mean, what is it? Have you set boundaries for your ex that they know that, listen, you are a ex. You are not my mate. And it doesn't mean that you got to be disrespectful about it. It just means that you have to set boundaries, especially when you're in a new relationship. If you got a man or woman and you're entering into a new relationship, they're treating you good. And you know that you're not having the issues that you had with your ex. Why would you jeopardize all that by giving your ex leeway to feel like they have no boundaries regarding you now? Even if you got a female friend or you got a male friend, okay? Can your ex call you at 2, 3 in the morning? Can they call you at 10 o'clock at night? I mean, come on now, be real. You got to be real about it. You say, well, we're adults. We are adults. Adults mean you got to be responsible and you got to be committed and you got to be loyal. So you can't be having your ex call all times of the night and just be like, it's just my ex. He ain't wanting that. He just talking. He just went out just talking. Well, he need to find somebody else to talk to because you got a life with somebody else. So you got to realize you got to set boundaries. Do you have boundaries? Or does your ex have no boundaries? Does he have no boundaries because you still have? Honestly, that would make me feel like a person has some emotional attachments. So you got to be really careful about that when you start allowing a person that's an ex to have more authority, limitless boundaries, and to where they just seem to have a bigger influence on your current relationships. Now, I think this is the big question that you need to ask yourself. If you are keeping your ex in your life and you have made the decision that your ex will be there long after your current mate, regardless of the situation of how good your current mate treats you or how good you feel about your current mate, that this person will be gone before your ex, I got one question to ask you. What is your expectation long term that you are expecting from your ex? What is it you're expecting to get from him or her? What is it that you want from her that you are keeping her name on the plate in your life? What is it? What is your real expectation? What is your real intentions with this person? That needs to be clarified because you need to be honest with yourself and you need to be honest with your mate about what is your intention with your ex. If your ex has that much influence, that much access, that much priority in your life, what are your real intentions and expectations for this person? Because it might be best that you let the person that you're with go so you can focus on your ex and they can focus on somebody who's going to focus on them. So you got to be real about that because you don't want to hurt anybody. Whether you're saying it's unintentional, you don't want to hurt anybody. Hey, stay right here. We'll be right back with more of the Simply Straight Talk Show.
We'll be back with your host, Reggie, on Simply Straight Talk.
RM Viaging is a company based on life's journey and sharing life lessons with the world in the form of laughter and reflection, inspiring people to go after their dreams and not giving up on life. RM Viaging creates inspirational music and motivational speeches designed to motivate all age groups. Visit our website at www.rmviaging.com to hear samples of our music. You will also find motivational articles on our blog page titled New Life, New Mind Blog. We also have a weekly podcast hosted by Reggie called Simply Straight Talk, all on our website at www.rmviaging.com.
Free your mind, free your voice right here on Simply Straight Talk.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the final segment of the show. I just want to give you my final thoughts on today's subject. Today, we talked about the fact of people who are in relationships with someone new, but they are still keeping their ex as an active part of their life. Now, I mentioned earlier in the show that I have been through this. And I want to say that if you are someone that's doing that and you know that you got somebody good in your life, make sure that you set boundaries. Make sure that you are very transparent with your mate and that you are clear about your intentions or your expectations from your ex. The worst thing that you can do, and it maybe not be the worst thing, but one of the most hurtful things that you can do is to be in a relationship with someone else and allow your ex to have the feeling of power and the feeling of your attention above them. To watch someone sit there and giggle and laugh and find enjoyment with someone else, and they barely are able to smile with you, is a hurtful feeling. Being in a relationship means dedication, it means commitment, it means loyalty. And that means in all areas. If you are no longer in a relationship with your ex, most likely that relationship ended for a reason. And now you have the opportunity to find someone who's going to bring more happiness and more joy to your life. If you are not ready to move on and have a life without your ex, then maybe you should just stay single because you don't want to cause someone to feel unnecessary heartache. You don't want to cause someone to be heartbroken or to feel like they are actually living their life trying to please you while sleeping in the bed with a ghost. And when I say that, I mean, because sometimes you can bring another person into your life, even though they're not there physically. Mentally, you can bring another person in the middle of your relationship. which is going to cause problems in your household. Now, you won't be able to see it because you're going to normalize the fact that your ex is a part of your life, and you're going to feel like, oh, well, that person should understand. They want to be with me. They should understand. You know, there's only certain reasons and certain times that an ex should be a part of your life. I feel if you have children, the ex should be a part of the children's life. And you have to communicate with the ex regarding the raising and the taking care of the kids. But the ex should not be a part or an influence on your relationship or that household if it doesn't affect the kids. Because I'm trusting that if you bring somebody into your house, it's going to be somebody that wants the best for you and the best for your kids. Your ex should not be designing your house. They should not be influencing what you do in your house, how you pay your bills, how you spend your money. That should be determined by you and your mate. Be honest about who you are. Be honest about what you want in a relationship. If you have an ex and you are cordial and you are friends, I think that is a great thing. But do not be afraid to set boundaries. Have that discussion like, listen, I met somebody. I'm very happy with them. But, please understand, you cannot be calling me at 10 o'clock at night. You cannot just pop up. You shouldn't be popping up anyway, but you cannot just pop up. You can't be calling me all times of the night. You can't have a key to the house. You can't just come and get the car and go. If you're coming to get the kids, you're going to need to call first. There are just certain things that you're going to need to set boundaries on, and you need to have an understanding, because with this, you don't want to be caught in the middle of a love triangle with somebody that you're supposedly not in love with and not with, but the person you're in love with is feeling like, I'm stuck in the middle of a threesome and I don't want to be here. Be honest about who you are. Be honest about what you want. Take care of the heart of the person you're with, just like you want your heart taken care of. Live your life loyal and committed, because I promise you, when you betray and live your life in deceit, it may not happen right now or within a year, but I promise you, it will come back and happen to you. So don't deceive others. Be cool, be calm, show love, be respectful. Hey, this is Reggie. Thank you for joining us here today. I really hope you enjoyed the show. I'm looking forward to seeing your comments and your feedback about this topic. But I want you to know this is the Simply Straight Talk, man. And I really appreciate all the love and support. You guys stay with us. Keep tuning in, and we'll be back next Friday with another show. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to today's show. Be sure to subscribe for more motivational topics based on real-life conversations, and don't forget to rate, review, and share our show so we can continue to bring you the best in real-life conversations. Join us next week right here on Simply Straight Talk.